And if lineups for early voting are any indication, thousands of Americans seem highly motivated to cast their ballot. In North Carolina, where early voting started today, people waited for hours in long lines. And as they wait, COVID case numbers keep rising. In North Carolina, more than 2,500 new cases were reported just today. And yet President Trump keeps telling people not to worry. Jackson Proskow reports.
Another day, another tightly packed Trump rally in another state where COVID-19 cases are surging.
Tell your governor, open up your state, open up your schools.
Despite the rise in cases here and across the country, the president told the crowd of mostly maskless supporters that the pandemic would soon be over.
My plan is already crushing the virus.
Trump!
Many Trump voters were already convinced that the virus is no big deal. Are you worried at all about your safety being here today, packed together in a crowd?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Will you wear a mask?
No.
I think that there's a lot of other more pressing issues than the pandemic.
Yay, Trump!
Some have embraced Trump's falsehoods and the grim U.S. death toll and claim it's a tale of success.
We are behind him 100%. The U.S. is doing more than your Canadian population, the European population. The U.S. is doing better than anyone around the world right now.
North Carolina, population 10 million, has recorded more cases than all of Canada. Today, the unemployment rate sits at 8.5%.
This has been beyond embarrassing to friends around the world and even around the country to see the lack of leadership.
To Joe Biden's supporters, Trump's record is one of historic failure. Brewery owner Celeste Beatty has seen business drop off by 70%. She was hoping for another government relief package until Trump called off the talks.
And to have the president saying, well, we're just going to hold back until after the election, that was very insulting and just so inhumane to have him play around with people's lives like that when there's such a great need.
4 years ago, Trump easily won North Carolina. Today, polls suggest this critical swing state could go either way. The pandemic threatens Donald Trump's chances at a second term, but hasn't cost him the support of his ever-loyal base.
He's the only true one that is telling the truth.
Yes.
And is going to save us all.
If undecided voters were hoping for any sort of clarity in these final days of the campaign, they likely won't be getting it tonight. What was supposed to have been a presidential debate has been replaced with two separate and simultaneous town halls featuring Trump and Joe Biden, different channels at the same time. That means that partisan supporters are likely to bubble themselves with the candidate of their choice and not see the opposing candidate's views expressed in any way if they don't want to hear them. Donna?
Jackson Proskow in North Carolina, thanks.